So, look, hello everybody, my name's Sally Cooke. I'm a teacher of the deaf with SSENS, which actually stands for School of Special Education Needs, and as has already been said, a lot of you used to know as WADE. I'm here to talk to you about an innovation in service delivery that we're actually implementing already this year in secondary schools, and it's called Students and School Support Innovations. Basically what we're doing is looking at how we encompass the needs to support schools as well as to teach students. And what we have started doing this year is offering schools a menu of services, and then we negotiate plans with them which have the two parts, teaching students and supporting schools. So before I explain the reasons for this change, I just want to give you a tiny little bit of context, which is what WADE used to do, which was we really provided a teaching service. So we'd go into schools and we'd withdraw the students and give them deaf-specific lessons, so looking at listening, audition, all of those things. The school support did happen, but it was incidentally in the last 5 minutes. You know, the teacher would just quickly come over and talk to you. We also used to give them professional learning at the beginning of the year, but then it was never really followed up over the year. So why did we think we should change? Well, first of all, it makes educational sense. Students spend at a maximum 2.5 hours a week with visiting teachers of the deaf, whereas they're 25 hours during the week in primary schools, especially with their class teachers. So obviously the impact that we can have educationally if we can change how the teacher is teaching in the classroom to make it more accessible for the deaf student is better. There's also a lot of systemic things going on at the moment. So I know if you read the paper on Saturdays, there's things about independent public schools, one-line budgets, student-centred funding. What that all really breaks down to when we're looking at it is that schools are being asked to be independent and autonomous in the way that they actually provide a service. So by providing them with options and choices and actually negotiating something that suits their schools and their students, we're actually offering a better service. So what did we do? As I said, we aimed to develop choices for the schools, and we want to be a key strategic resource. So we want them to think of us when they've got a deaf student in their school. And to do that, we really needed to be proactive, so we're doing this just off our own bat, and be responsive to need and relevant to the schools. We want to be relevant to the school's individual needs and the students' individual needs. So what did we do? We now offer schools a package of services. Every student has an allocated number of service hours according to their needs. That hasn't changed, that's already been the situation. But now we actually go to the schools with a support options menu, and we go through the menu and actually let the schools choose what they think will suit their school and their staff. And within that, they're offered a range of professional learning opportunities. They're offered classroom support visits where the visiting teacher goes into the classroom and actually provides support, sometimes just general support, but sometimes in a specific area like technology or classroom acoustics, and we've actually got choices for them. And also help with specific school challenges. Schools have told us, look, we want help with special exam conditions, or we want help where they go on work experience, or all those sort of things, so they can be negotiated within the time as well. So I've got a quick example. A Year 10 student who has 10 hours, what used to be teaching time, allocated a term, the school might say, look, we think it's still important that they have some direct teaching with you, so that might be 5 hours a term instead of the 10. And then there might be 2 hours of classroom support visits. So that would mean a visiting teacher in the high school situation could go into maths, English, science and social studies to actually spend half an hour in and give the teachers some support. 2 hours of PL. We actually are really looking at how we can actually educate teachers over the year rather than dumping all this information on them at the beginning of the year and then saying, off you go and do it. It's been shown many times in research that adults learn better over time and in different situations. And so what we're trying to do is offer them different types of things. So a couple of things we do. We now have a talk that we can do in a staff meeting called 10 Tips in 10 Minutes, which we honestly swear to God that it only take 10 minutes to do. And people like that because it's not too long and it's not too much a commitment. We're also sending fortnightly email hints to teachers who are teaching one of our students. And the last thing is the 1 hour of special exam conditions. You would work with the learning support coordinator with that. So just to quickly finish off, what are the expected benefits? Well, we want to increase the school's capacity to manage the students themselves. So it's giving them independence, but obviously we're also looking at better educational outcomes for our students. And what's the feedback been like? It's been really positive. It's only been incidental at the moment, but the stakeholders like the flexibility. And we're going to do a formal feedback and review process this year because we've started it with all the high school kids. The current feedback's basically showing that the changes are very effective and well supported. Thank you for your time.